Hello and welcome to the first episode of Against the Spread Sports Betting. I am Eckman with Eckman's Cards and Collectibles and our newest member to Gem 10 Sports, Sean. How you doing?
Good, man. How's it going?
Oh, you know,
Football.
getting ready for football season and getting ready to roll. So, before we get into what we're going to be going over today, first we are here brought to you by Gem 10 Sports. In the description below, you can find our TikTok, our Facebook, our Instagram. Go on YouTube, watch our videos. Make sure you like and subscribe. That's very important for us as we keep going, especially on this side with the betting podcast. We're hoping to do this for the NFL season. Hopefully we can win. If we lose, bet responsibly. That's all I can say. So, but yeah, so we're really looking for big things here with the betting podcast. I think me and Sean are both very excited. So, before we get started, Sean, what are some of your sports books that you kind of go with? I know you've made comments about FanDuel and stuff like that. Is that who you stick with completely, or do you have any other ones?
Yeah, just because I started with FanDuel a while ago, that's kind of what I stick with. I like Barstool, if you want to go that route. The odds are sometimes a little better. But yeah, FanDuel is my bread and butter. It's where I get paid. So
yeah, I know you do a lot of the daily lineups. I know FanDuel's good for that too. So I'm the same way. Yeah, I like Barstool. I like FanDuel. I like DraftKings. Then if I get into like a lot of the prop bet parlay sites, I like Thrive Fantasy and what was the other one? Prize Picks. I think Prize Picks is pretty cool too. And I think we'll touch base into a lot of that stuff here in the future. So basically what we're bringing you guys here for this show is we're doing future bets for the season. So it's kind of like a pre-show before week one. We're going to do our future bets, our MVPs, our Rookie of the Years, Player of the Year, stuff like that. And then we're going to dive into the Thursday night game. Before we even dive into any of that yet, just so everybody knows, we are recording this on, what is today, Tuesday?
Tuesday.
So we're recording this on Tuesday. This is probably coming out on Wednesday. And we did just get a text confirmation that Travis Kelce is dealing with it. What is it?
He
ACL or
no? I mean, he avoided long term.
He avoided. Okay, so we're not sure if he's out yet at all for the game, but he's still going Wednesday to get like a checkup. So who knows what's going to happen there? So that could change. I know it's going to change probably my pick for the game, but we'll dive into that when we get into there. So, but so let's dive in. So we're going to start with our future bets here. I think the best one for us to talk about would be comeback player of the year. I think it's kind of, we're getting back into the season. We're going to start talking about the comeback player of the year. Sean, who do you have on that?
Got my boy Lamar Jackson. Big year coming. Dual threat. He's got a fun little new toy to play with in Zay Flowers. Mm-hmm. I think he'll have a big year as well. And I think they're just well coached. I think they're too prideful to have another down year. So
yeah, and I know he's old. I know he's old and beaten up, but OBJ, he's over there too now, I believe.
He's still got wheels.
I think he'll still be good. He'll be a good piece for them. But I was laughing at this because I really think DeMar Hamlin's obviously going to win this. Mm-hmm. Just because obviously, how can you not give it to DeMar Hamlin from coming back what he came back from? I don't know if I would consider that the best comeback player of the year. I think it's obviously a horrible situation what happened, and God bless to him and that and all that. But I think comeback player of the year should be valued on who plays the best during the season. I do think Lamar Jackson has one of the better opportunities to probably turn it around from what he went through last year, obviously being injured going into the playoffs, and that didn't work out too well. And I do see a pretty big year for him this year.
Plus, you got the value there too. I mean, you picked DeMar Hamlin. I think it's minus 350, something like that. I mean, the odds are.
Yeah, because
you got 2,500 on Lamar. I believe Russell Wilson's right around there as well. If you want to take a stab at Russ.
Yep.
Again, I think these guys are too prideful. I think Russell's in a pretty good situation with Sean Payton. Yeah, you could take throw $10 on it. Why not?
Yep, I agree. Let's dive into the big question: Super Bowl champions. Mm-hmm. I'll go out, and so basically how I base my pick on Super Bowl champions, I was kind of going off of a team that is obviously projected to win, one of the top 3 to 5 teams. I went middle of the road, and I went like your sleeper underdog type pick that maybe could surprise you a little bit. I started out with Cincy. I think if Burrow stays healthy, if the big four stay healthy, basically Burrow, Chase, Higgins, and Mixon, if those 4 can stay healthy, I think they did a decent amount to help the O-line. They added Orlando Brown from the Kansas City Chiefs to the left tackle. That's like what they were missing big time for Burrow to stop getting all these sacks that he was getting. He's since he's plus 1,000 right now. That's off of Barstool. That's what I'm going off of. So I think that was a very good pick still for the value, because I think Kansas City is like plus 600 somewhere in there. So I mean, defending champs, it's gonna be harder to repeat in this league now. But that was basically my best pick. Second pick I had at plus 4,000 is the Denver Broncos. I really believe Sean Payton coming back is going to really change that offense. And if we think about it, that offense is what hurt them last year. The defense was actually one of the best defenses in the league, and the points wise, they were letting up no points, but the offense couldn't score anything. So I think I read something last year, it was late in the season last year, that if Denver could have scored like 20 points a game, they would have only lost like 3 games. That's how good their defense was playing, how good their defense was letting teams
who's leading that backfield?
Well, can he stay healthy? Javonte Williams, I'm assuming, if he can stay healthy.
What about their newcomer, Pirine?
I think he's a good second option, and I think he's going to be a good change of pace back. Javonte, I think if he stays healthy, he's going to be really, really good. But is this his second or third year in the league, and he's been hurt the first year or two, so that's not a good start for him. And then my shot in the dark pick, I'm going old school. I'm going basically guys that are about to break all their bones playing, but Tennessee Titans. You got Ryan Tannehill. You got even though he's old, he's getting up there. You got D Hop. You got Henry. The defense wasn't terrible last year. I really think that team can turn it around a little bit too, and there's plus 7,500 on that, so it's very, very good odds. Just throw a couple bucks on there, wherever you want. I mean, what everybody bets is what you bet, so whatever you want to put on there, you put on there. But I really do like that. But who do you have for Super Bowl?
It's funny you say the old men breaking their bones. That's how I look at Tennessee, honestly. And it's funny because I actually took Derrick Henry in one of my drafts. So I think he still has a little bit of gas left, but we'll see. Super Bowl winner. I mean, my darlings.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, I knew this was coming sooner or later.
Plus 2,100. I'm just kidding. I can't do it. But they're a fun story. I think they'll be a fun story this year. I really like Baltimore this year. I think with the revamped offense, their defense is always good, so I'm not worried about that. John Harbaugh always has them ready. Yeah, I just think Lamar Jackson having a bounce back year plays directly into that. You're going to be at plus 1,800. Why not? And then I got the frustrating LA Chargers. Feels like they should be there every year.
Yeah.
Their offensive firepower. You got Herbert, you got Eckler, you got old man Keenan.
Yeah.
Old man Keenan Allen still doing his thing. Mike Williams on the outside's a beast. So, yeah, I like LA. An exciting team to watch out for is Miami. I got them taking their division. Is Tua healthy? Mm-hmm. I mean, don't ask a medical professional because they'll just put him back in, but bad joke.
A funny trend with what our picks are right now is how much the AFC is dominating.
Yeah.
That side. Like nobody. I mean, you have a couple teams in the NFC, but they're all those teams in the NFC right now are like rebuilding.
Most things I don't want to talk about the 49ers. I don't want to talk about Brock Purdy. I think he's smoke and mirrors, but that's my opinion. I think AFC has the most firepower. I think that's where the league's headed. Defense, leave it for the birds and get after it. That's kind of how I see the shaping out. Which brings me to my next pick, Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville's up and coming. I think last year they proved some stuff to some people. And I think Calvin Ridley is going to go off. So that's going to be one of my picks. We'll get to it for Offensive Player of the Year. But, yeah I like Jacksonville. And I don't hate your Denver pick. I don't.
I think it's a good. I think it's a good just to lay some money on it just to give it a chance because I think Russell he's not done. Like he has stuff left in the tank. He's a good QB still. He's just a bad situation last year.
I think they're the exception of defense traveling. I think their defense will travel. Yeah, I think Russ he doesn't have to be Russ that we know. He just has to be 70% Russ.
Yeah. Yep.
Champion. So yeah, those are my four though. I think you have good value all the way down.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So we'll jump right into the MVP. So I'm gonna leave this one more for you because I don't know if you actually have a pick on this or not. I can't remember, but it's just MVP. Basically, just might as well call it the QB award at the end of the year because it's been a QB since 2012, I think. So you could literally throw anybody in there. It's who's gonna have the most yards, who's gonna have the most touchdowns, and maybe the best record. Who knows? So who do you have though on that?
So this was interesting because I'm a big Jalen Hurts guy. I think he's going to be motivated. I think he's got the weapons around him. I love that offense they run over there. But if I'm looking at value, dual threat, all these quarterbacks are in the same mold, right? You're looking at dual threat quarterback, had the stats. I like Tua a lot. You got Hill, Waddle. I don't know. Is it still Gesicki over there? Who's their tight end over there?
No, Gesicki went to New England, I believe.
Yeah, they don't need a tight end. That's fine.
Yeah, so they don't really have anybody there. But that's going to open up a lot for just that receiving core.
Yeah, they don't need a tight end. It's fine. I like Tua. Again, Lamar. I touched on Lamar. Obvious reasons. Big bounce back year. And then if you want to take a stab, look at Russell Wilson. Come back.
Yeah.
He could do comeback player of the year, and he could also take MVP at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think when it comes to like the MVP, I think you obviously have to stick with QB. And I think you just got to kind of go down the list and who has how far down the list can you go with the best value, like you know what I mean, like in the best chance of getting it. So yeah, I can see Tua. Like if Tua could stay healthy, there's no doubt that he could actually have a good year and maybe be MVP. I mean, that's kind of where. What's that?
I was looking at what about Aaron Rodgers?
That's another one. What's he at? What's his number?
I'm actually throwing up as I say that, but let me take a look at his odds. I mean, they got to be out there, but he has weapons. He's got
Yeah, that team's gonna be interesting this year. They really are.
Yeah, I'll come back on his odds, but
yeah. So I mean, I think MVP. Obviously, everybody would agree. You gotta get the QB range. See what you think there. But if you were ever looking those odds up for Aaron Rodgers, we're gonna switch over and go to Offensive Player of the Year. I'll go ahead and start on that one. Offensive Player of the Year. Obviously, I looked at after I saw MVP was mostly QBs. I started going down Offensive Player of the Year is starting to trend towards mostly wide receivers. And I was thinking in my head, all right, well, I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to kind of go down that path. And I had two receivers that interest me. Garrett Wilson for the Jets. I think, obviously, with Rodgers as his QB now, that's a huge addition. He could explode. His value was like plus 2,000. So I think that's a great opportunity there.
Yeah, 3,000.
3,000.
That's what I have.
Or are you on FanDuel?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's why you gotta check the odds in different books because some places they're better and some places they're not. And like right there, that's a perfect example. Last night I was looking at it and plus 2. It was plus 2,000 on Barstool, but he's plus 3,000 on FanDuel. So you definitely want to try to go grab it over there.
Shop around.
Yep. And then my last one was Tyreek Hill. I believe Tyreek Hill wants to be out of the league in like the next 3 to 5 years. I think he wants to be done.
I just hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also, though, I heard that he put in a podcast here recently that he wants to go over 2,000 yards receiving this year and a Super Bowl. That's his goal this year. He wants to be over 2,000 yards with a Super Bowl. I really believe that if he gets anywhere near that, he's probably going to get it anyway. So, and if there's any player in the league that I think can get 2,000 yards, it's going to be Tyreek Hill. I think, I mean, he's getting a little bit up there in age, but I think he still has the juice and how fast he is and stuff that he's going to be able to get there. So I really like that pick. And that on my end on Barstool, that's plus 1,800 for him on that. So
yeah, I think Tyreek's a good play. I think he'll have 500 yards and 1,500 yak.
yeah, yeah.
So that's always fun.
Yep.
As far as offensive player of the year, I love Calvin Ridley.
Yep.
I know he's a little. Maybe we'll have him on the show. You know,
Yeah.
a little gambling 411.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he might want to take a little bit of a seat on the gambling.
Yeah, he doesn't want to show his face on a gambling podcast. I would think, but big value play, huge payoff. Yeah, plus 8,000 at FanDuel right now. Number one receiver in Jacksonville. I saw a video of him and Zay Jones over there that they got. Yeah, they were running routes, and it was like night and day. Just totally different. Just totally different players.
Ridley's been out. He was out last year, obviously, because of the gambling thing, correct? So when he was there in Atlanta, before that, he was actually doing really well.
Yeah,
so I mean, he has a good opportunity, and I'm sure he's coming back. I mean, I would assume he's coming back hungry. And what better quarterback to start off with a rookie? And I not. It might have been in your notes. Is him and like Lawrence like best buddies or something?
Yeah, they're BFFs.
So,
actually, no, I kind of made that up. I just like from a game to game perspective, they might be best friends. I don't know.
Okay. So you're assuming that they're going to become best friends.
They're going to be when they each.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. You just assume that. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
But, bracelets and everything. It'll be cool.
But you have anybody else other than Ridley, or is that your main? Is that your main catch for offensive player of the year?
I like Tyreek too, and I like the Wilson pick. If you want to go just predictable and go with the chalk, Jamar Chase, you can't go wrong with Jamar Chase. I mean, the only thing that worries me is I think T. Higgins is very good. He's very good. So why I picked Ridley was because his competition. You got to remember in Atlanta he had Julio Jones there.
Yep.
And he was still just catching touchdowns at a crazy rate. So
he
finds the end zone, he gets open. I like the plus 8,000 on Calvin Ridley.
Oh, yeah, you can't beat that at all then. You got to throw a little bit on there for that especially. But so we'll switch over. We'll go from that. We're going to go right over to Defensive Player of the Year on the other side of the football. Who do you have there?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird category. You would like to think that sacks, the most sacks wins it, but that's not always the case. I mean, last year you had a cornerback winning in Sauce. So I like some Max Crosby. I think he's got an awesome motor. But does that get it done? I don't know. Aiden Hutchinson at plus 3,000. I like Aiden because they put him at the edge and they drop him in coverage. And I think with our linebacking core in Detroit, it's up and coming, but I think they're going to use that a little bit more this year. Drop Aiden into coverage. You got Houston to back him up. And we got some beef in the middle. So they're going to be able to utilize him a little bit more than just an edge rusher.
Yeah.
And I think if you're looking at utility from a defensive perspective, I think that wins you Defensive Player of the Year, being able to kind of do it all. And I like Myles Garrett too.
Yeah, I saw he was going to be a good pick too. Yeah,
I think Cleveland will be okay. I don't trust their quarterback situation. I think they have an awesome running back in Chubb, and really, Cleveland's defense is predicated on Myles Garrett getting to the quarterback. So if they have a good year, I think Myles is up there.
Yep. Yeah, so Sauce Gardner, he won Rookie Defensive Player of the Year last year, right?
Yeah.
And then who won Defensive Player of the Year last year? Do you remember? I know right on the tip of my tongue, I just can't remember who it was. It was a sack. It was someone. It was a sacks guy.
Was it a lot?
No, that was the year before. I can't remember. I have to figure that out. But so I have Sauce Gardner. He won Defensive Rookie of the Year last year. I have him as one of my options as a late, basically a shot in the dark type guy because he's plus 2,000.
Nick Bosa. Sorry, Nick Bosa.
Bosa. Yes, yep. So yeah, Sauce Gardner to win Defensive Player of the Year. I think I think it does come back like you were talking about with Myles Garrett and the quarterback situation there with Deshaun Watson. I think it's the same thing here with Sauce Gardner. He's already building like a relationship with Rodgers. Like you can watch it in Hard Knocks and stuff like that. So I think with how the offense is going to play is going to determine how pumped up that defense is to play. And obviously Sauce Gardner, he's already good. So I think that's going to add a little bit. So I really think he has a chance at that. I think though TJ Watt, if he can stay healthy, I think TJ Watt breaks the sack record this year. And I'm not a Pittsburgh fan, so remember that. I'm from Pittsburgh. I hate Pittsburgh. I don't want them to win.
There's that terrible towel.
Yeah. TJ Watt, though, I think he really has a chance to break the sacks record. He's just unbelievable. He's a game changer in that defense. If he can just stay healthy throughout the whole year, I really like his odds. They're at plus 800. And he's already won it. I think I know he won it once in 2021. I can't remember if he won it. I thought he won it one more time. I thought he won it twice, but I can't remember. But yeah, I do like that pick for sure. But
he'll have plenty of opportunities with that offense. So
yeah. So I saw your list. I saw your list on this for Coach of the Year, and I was surprised that you didn't have one of the coaches that I thought the only coach actually that I think is going to be on there. But you got to tell me who you like for Coach of the Year.
So I actually, what I like is Arthur Smith a lot.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah, I like Arthur Smith. I think Ritter takes a step forward, and I say that hesitantly. We'll see, but I think you got Drake London, you got Bijan's there now.
Kyle Pitts.
Well, see, I told everyone I was not going to do it. Draft Kyle Pitts.
And he did?
In any drafts this year.
Why?
And he sat because he's been a dumpster fire, man. That's why.
He hasn't had enough. He hasn't had enough time.
I don't know. So,
I think this is his year.
I hope so because I broke my rule and I drafted Kyle Pitts. So, he just his athletic ability. I think it's. You're right. I think he has a little breakout year.
That Arthur Smith pick's going to depend on Ritter. I mean, it really is. But behind him, though, isn't it Heineke behind him?
I think, and that's why I have more confidence making this pick. Because even if Ritter doesn't work it out, they're going to plug Heineke right in there. And
he handled himself pretty well in Washington.
Best back
for the short stuff he had to do. Yeah.
He's like.
So any other coaches that you like, or is it really Arthur? Or?
I like Matt. No, I don't like Matt LaFleur. Never mind. I like Matt Eberflus. Is that how you say his name?
I think you like the name. If that name doesn't pop, that's a one of a kind name there.
His future is directly tied to Justin Fields, and I think Justin Fields is a unique talent. I think he'll do good things out there.
Yep.
But they are admittedly in the start of a rebuild.
Yeah.
So if they could easily surpass expectations, I would expect his name to be mentioned.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, of course, I gotta bite those kneecaps with Dan Campbell. So
yeah, but I think he's past that though. Has he not won Coach of the Year yet in the last couple of years?
No,
he definitely should have.
Last year was Dabo, Brian Dable, the Giants.
Oh yeah. Actually, I'm surprised I'm surprised Campbell hasn't won it yet already because he has done crazy things there in Detroit to change that team around and what they're doing and what they're expected. So my Coach of the Year that I thought you should have had on there and you didn't, Sean Payton.
Yep.
Which I think is going to be a no-brainer. If they play anywhere near decent and get to the playoffs, I think he wins it automatically. For him to come back to go coach in Denver with Russell Wilson with a great defense, I think if he can turn things around there, which obviously we know his success down in New Orleans, I really think that they have a really, really good chance up there in Denver to actually do something and make a little run there in the playoffs. Now they're in one of the toughest divisions, I believe. So it's going to be a little tougher there. But But I do like him for Coach of the Year. That was pretty much my only pick for it. After that, it's
good one.
It's
a good one. He walked into a horrible situation, and he's seen.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't have to come back, right?
No, that's
he didn't have to come back. He had that TV money coming in. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
But he saw an opportunity. Russell Wilson Reclamation Project. They got some pieces out there. He said, "If I'm going to take any opportunity, it's this one." So I like that pick then because there's some substance behind it.
Yeah. All right, let's dive over now to the rookies. Who are you looking at for Offensive Rookie of the Year?
Offensive rookie. I mean, the odds are short, but I like Jahmyr Gibbs. You're going to see a little bit of a theme. I swear I'm not usually a homer, but I can't help it this year. I'm just too damn excited. He's going to be a utility Kamara type back. I know a lot of people made that comparison to Kamara, but he can truly play multiple positions out there. I think Jameson Williams being out for 6 weeks, that's only going to help him. They can line him up, even if it's as a decoy. It's going to help that offense, going to open up opportunities. And then if I had to pick a number 2, honestly, it's a long shot. You might laugh. It's Luke Musgrave.
Luke Musgrave. I'm excited to hear this reason why.
He's 6'6", 6'5", or something like that. He's like 250.
Mm-hmm.
Pass catching tight end.
Yep.
I think he's going to be Jordan Love's safety blanket out there.
Yeah.
Because you got young receivers. I mean, why not throw another one in there and hope he has a big year? So
yeah.
Luke Musgrave at 10,000. You want to throw $5 on that?
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, that's a no-brainer there. Those actually aren't too bad. And I picked this one, and you're actually going to probably really appreciate this one. But I think Gibbs. Has a great chance there in Detroit. I think pass catching, rushing, his backup is David Montgomery, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I think with Montgomery, Montgomery's a great running back himself, but not pass catching. So I think Gibbs is. I believe Gibbs has a starting role there. How they use that, who knows? It might be even split, who knows? But I think Gibbs is the one that I would want to take, but I think he has to do something really special to get that, because you have 3 rookie QBs right now that are solid in CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, and Richardson.
Yep.
And 3 teams that are rebuilding that if any of those QBs turn out to be halfway decent, they're going to get it pretty much.
Who's your favorite QB to go off out of those 3?
I'm a Ohio State fan, so I like Stroud.
I think Stroud's the best. So
I think Bryce Young, I think he's like a Kyler Murray, but I think he's going to be worse. I think he's too small, too short. I don't know how that's going to pan out. Maybe they'll make it work, but I do like Richardson. I don't know. I don't think Richardson's accuracy is going to be that good, and as long as he works on that, his legs are obviously good. So I see him being like a Lamar Jackson type style quarterback.
Cam Newton much?
Yeah, even because honestly, I think Richardson can pass better than Lamar can. I'm not a big Lamar fan. I think Lamar Jackson depends on his legs, and unless he does something crazy, I think Lamar Jackson in the next 5 years finds himself probably out of the league, because I don't think he's going to be able to run forever, obviously, and I don't think he's getting this passing game. I don't think it's anything special yet. It's not on the Mahomes, Rodgers level that he needs to be a star type player. So, but yeah, no, I think one of those 3 QBs are probably going to get it. But if they don't, I would love to see Gibbs get it.
Yeah, I think Gibbs is a good pick for sure. And don't overlook the offensive coordinator, having their influence in this. And I think Ben Johnson is as creative as they come.
Yep.
Had coaching opportunities, said no, I'm good. I'm come back to Detroit, see what we're building here. And I think he's excited to have that little pocket utility knife as disposal in Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll go to the other side of the football there, and we got Defensive Rookie of the Year. I put in my notes, I'm going to leave this one to Sean because nobody is standing out to me. So I'm probably not going to bet this one at all. So this is all yours here.
Yeah, I mean, I got a few few here. I really like Nolan Smith coming out of college. He had a great combine. I think he's a speedy linebacker. They can line him up on the line as an edge. And with these types of players, especially defensive rookie of the year, you want to look at guys that can kind of do it all. And I think Nolan Smith fits that bill. If you're looking for a Sauce Gardner sequel, redo, you're looking at Emmanuel Forbes out of Washington. Had 14 interceptions in college. Ball hawk. He can find the ball. And I think Washington's front is pretty scary. They got one of the best fronts in the NFL. They're going to create opportunities for Forbes to kind of pick a few off here and there. And then, I'll throw Jack Campbell in there, linebacker for the Lions. Again, another ball hawk. He makes the right play, out of Iowa. He just knows what he's doing out there. So, those are my three.
All right. Yeah, so before we jump into the Thursday night games, let's kind of switch this over here. We're going to go to division winners. So we're going to kind of break down the divisions here. I'll ask you basically first where you think I started doing this. I started picking them out. I was like, crap, I'm picking every division that with the lowest odds. I was this ain't really. Yeah, there's no fun in that. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna come up with my sleeper pick in each division also because I had to pretty much. But so let's start with the AFC East. Who do you have in the AFC East?
AFC East, I have Miami Dolphins.
Yep, I like that.
I think it's gonna be a really fun division this year, though. Buffalo's always going to be there. New York, you got A-Rod over there. I don't even want to give him a nickname. I take that back. Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't deserve one. Dolphins with Tua, Hill, Waddle, and the Patriots. I have no idea. If anyone has any idea about Patriots, let me know because I don't know what they're doing over there.
Yeah. It really depends on Mac Jones. I mean, it depends on the whole team around because Mac Jones isn't bad, but he doesn't have any weapons.
He's not the spark plug.
Yeah. I had Miami as my sleeper pick, but I think any of the first three teams you could pick. The Patriots, that's a little tougher, but I went with the Jets. I mean, I'm surprised that none of us went with the Bills. I'm very cautious on the Bills this year. I just don't see the hype around them anymore with how they can't do nothing in the playoffs. So the Jets I had to look at because of obviously everything that's going on there this year. They look solid. They have a solid offense around them now. So I like the Jets, but Miami was my sleeper on that one for sure.
But if you want to go the Bills, you are getting plus odds here at 120.
Yeah.
Yep. And you're 290 for Miami. So if you could even hedge your bet a little bit with those odds.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't hate either pick. But I mean, Buffalo's always there, right? And this is to win the division. Yep. So either Buffalo wins it or they get the wild card. I think
exactly. It's gonna be one of those two probably. But we'll sneak on down to your territory now. NFC North.
Oh shit!
I'm not wondering who you're gonna pick on that one.
Obviously Minnesota.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Just kidding. No. I love me some Kirk Cousins. Said no one. I like Detroit. Obviously, I just think our GM has built that team through the draft. They went out this offseason. They got Gardner Johnson, Mosley, Cam Sutton. They got some good rookie. You got Sam Laporta, tight end. And I think that offense is built where they don't need that go-to. I mean, St. Brown is their go-to, but they can make it work with everyone. I think Ben Johnson's that creative. But don't sleep on Green Bay. Don't sleep on them. I think Jordan Love, if he pops a little bit, they have the run game, they got the defense, they have a couple of good, you got Christian Watson out there, you got Dubs, or is it Dubes? How do you say it? Dubes?
I want to say Dubes. I'm pretty sure
Dubes is cooler. Yeah, Dubes is cooler.
Yeah, Dubes does sound cooler.
Smoke me a Dube. I like the Lions, of course. You're getting plus odds at 145. And if you want a flyer or a sleeper, I go Green Bay.
Yeah. So I have basically the same thing. I have Detroit. I have them with the division. I think they're in a great rebuild right now. They're still processing it, but they're doing that, they're winning, and that's kind of cool to see. But my sleeper, I'm going to say Chicago. I think they're still far away, but I think that division is going to be pretty even now that Rodgers is out. I think the division can kind of work its way in. I think Kirk Cousins is going to slowly start trending down, but I think Fields is finally they're adding him some weapons with DJ Moore over there now on offense and stuff. So I really do like what Chicago's doing. So I would say watch out for them too. But
the admitted rebuild doesn't scare you?
No, because I mean, look at Detroit. They were in the middle of a rebuild, and as they were rebuilding, they're going up and they're winning, and now they have the first game of the season against the defending champions. I mean, that's people notice what Detroit's doing right now,
and that's how you win money here. I mean, that's how you win money. You got to pick the up and comer and put some
exactly. So, NFC South, I'll go and start on that one here. NFC South, I have New Orleans at plus 125. I love Derek Carr as a quarterback. I don't think the Raiders was a good fit for him. I think the Saints with a little bit better defense because they have a solid defense. I think if Michael Thomas can stay healthy, but if he stubs his toe, he might be out for 5 years. So with Michael Thomas, if he can stay healthy, I think they added Jimmy Graham. Am I mistaken that they have Jimmy Graham back down there?
He's back.
I think he's back, but I don't know. I might be mistaken. It might have been a dream.
Jimmy Graham 40? How old is Jimmy Graham?
That's what I was thinking too. That was back when he was playing his. But I don't know where
they got Jawan Johnson. They're fine at tight end.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then they have Kamara, obviously, but Kamara's out for the first 4 games. I think suspended for the first 4. So once he comes back, I think that team's going to be pretty solid. I think Derek Carr's a good quarterback. I think they have a good chance. My sleeper in that one would be Atlanta. Like you were saying for Coach of the Year, I think Atlanta, if Desmond Ridder can be anything good or Heineke can come in and take over, that team has a very, very good shot at being a good team, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I love Atlanta. I'll back your pick up there. I think Ridder is a question mark, but like I said, worst case, they go to the best backup in the league and Heineke. Bijan will be fun, and maybe it's the year of Pitts. Maybe. And then Drake London's going to get his too. So
yeah,
I think Atlanta takes that one. And you get them at plus 210 right now.
Yeah. So on NFC West, NFC West seems like it's just you have to pick San Francisco. You don't there's a part of me that doesn't want to pick them, but it's like, how can I not pick them? On the offensive side of the ball, they have so many weapons, it's unreal. Yeah. But it's all dependent on Brock Purdy now. And who else is gonna come in? Sam Darnold? I mean, that has been tried too many times. That didn't work out for anybody. So if Brock Purdy can actually continue what he did last year, San Francisco is going to be a tough team to beat. My sleeper pick would be Seattle. I think Geno Smith, hopefully it wasn't just a one-hit wonder with Geno Smith that 1 year last year. If he could actually continue what he was doing, I really think Seattle can make a push against San Francisco in that. But we already know Arizona is just, they're gone. Kyler Murray's not playing for the first 4 to 5 games, and even if he did, they already got rid of Hopkins. They don't have nobody anymore, so Arizona's out of it for sure. So I really think Seattle's the next best thing there. And Rams, I think the Rams are the same situation as the Titans. They're old and broken.
Rams are treading water.
Yes.
Arizona's at the bottom of the lake, and Seattle is in a canoe with a few holes in it, and they're shoveling out water.
Yep.
I think San Fran is just lining them up and ramming them out of the river. So I like San Fran. I don't think there's much to say. I mean, you got McCaffrey, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, Bosa, roster stack, man. I mean, can Purdy do enough? Yeah, Purdy can wake up, get out of bed, go eat breakfast, and win.
And just hand the ball off McCaffrey, and you'll be fine. So
he doesn't really have to do much, and the odds do suggest that. You're at minus 165 for San Fran. honestly, if you want to bet it, go. I think there's value elsewhere, but you're not going to lose money on San Fran.
Yeah. Yep. But we'll jump over the AFC now. AFC East. Who do you have there on the AFC East?
So this one is tricky. Again, I love finding value in these odds. I think
I'm sorry, NFC East.
You want NFC?
Yeah, we did AFC East already. We did Philly, Miami, and the Jets. I switched
AFC.
it up. I went AFC, the first division, and then I went all NFC teams.
That's now we're not live yet, boys.
Yeah, so we're going a little backwards here, but
NFC East, you're gonna love this one. When did you stop liking the Cowboys, Josh?
Whatever. Well, so obviously you remember I was a big T.O. fan.
When did your love die for Dallas?
When about a couple years after T.O. left, after Des Bryant was done, pretty much. Okay. And I was like, once I kind of lost T.O., like I was like, I didn't really care for teams anymore. Then Kobe quit basketball when he retired. I kind of lost my love for basketball in the sense of liking teams. So I just kind of follow players around now more. But
all right. Well, I need you to go buy a Dak Prescott jersey because I got Dallas. I got Dallas winning this one. I think it's going to be a really close race. Dallas is always right there. I think Brandon Cooks gives him another weapon. I don't think Gallup was the guy. No. I don't think he ever was. I think Brandon Cooks is a speedster on the outside. I think Lamb is going to get his, of course. And Pollard has free run.
Yeah. So I'm excited. That's the one thing in Dallas I'm excited for is to see what Pollard can do as a full-time back. Because when he was there with Zeke, and this happens though every once in a while where the backup, like same thing in Minnesota, Madison with Dalvin Cook was always there. Madison would come in and he would just take off and do crazy things, and same thing with Pollard. But if that relates into anything, he should be great. But he could come in with a full schedule and full carry list and he might do terrible. So who knows? But I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, that whole line, it's plug and play, right? You could put about anyone in there. So
that's I'm a little bit different there. I have Philly. I just don't think I can take away what Hurts and them are doing up there. So I have Philly to win at minus 130. I don't like the odds at all, but if I'm going to try to find some good value, I'm gonna take the Giants at plus 850. I think that's great. I think the Giants can still compete with all of those teams in that division, and they only have to worry about those teams to win that division. So I really like the Giants there at plus 850. You can't pass that up. I don't think.
Who's Danny Dimes throwing it to?
Darren Waller. And Darren Waller and dumping off to Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
And all those other guys are just little decoys.
That's a wrap.
Throw a couple Hail Marys up to them, make them feel special. And then give the ball off to Waller and Barkley. And then Danny Dimes, you got to remember, Danny Dimes has legs too.
He does.
Danny Dimes can run 80 yards and then trip over his own feet.
You remember I think he's an underrated quarterback. Whenever I have a chance, I like to pick him up as my QB2 in leagues because he has that rushing upside. So I like that.
All right, so let's go back to the AFC now. We're going to be AFC North. This is my territory now. AFC North, I will never – well, I guess I can't say never. I would never pick Pittsburgh usually. Now, I don't have Pittsburgh to win the division. My main pick is Cincinnati at plus 150, which I think any of those teams at plus money is pretty good. Cincinnati, I think, is going to be a solid team. I really like them to win the Super Bowl this year. As long as Burrow can stay healthy, they can keep – because they added the left tackle in for Burrow. That's going to help him tremendously. Their defense is okay, but with how good Burrow is, and then you have Chase and Higgins, and then you have Mixon in the backfield, that team could be really, really solid if they can stay healthy. But my sleeper pick is the Steelers at plus 450. I think those are very good odds. The Steelers defense always keeps them in everything. It's something that's haunted me my whole life. Is that Steelers defense, and I think Kenny Pickett. I think he could be.
We're both doing the same thing. Look at us.
I think he could be something.
You can talk into it if you root.
I read a thing on the preseason that he had 5 preseason drives. They all went for touchdowns. So that's something.
That was an active eye roll. That was an eye roll right there. Preseason preseason touchdowns.
But we'll see. We'll see what Pickett can do, and it's gonna like any team. It's gonna depend on quarterback, and then I think Pickett. I think he's having a little bit of an upturn there. So who do you have there?
I
Probably the Ravens.
I want to get behind Pittsburgh, but I just don't think they have enough. Honestly, Najee Harris, I think he's a little overrated, but you could talk about that with any running back these days, I feel.
Yeah.
I like Baltimore. Again, off my previous picks, I like piggybacking off the comeback year off Lamar. Say Flowers, you got Rashad Bateman, you got OBJ, Mark Andrews. I think J.K. Dobbins, and now that I'm thinking about it, he might be a candidate for one of these comeback player, offensive player of the year type awards. I think he's being way overlooked. I've snagged him in every one of my drafts so far.
Yep.
He averages 5.9 yards a carry through his career.
Yeah.
What's that?
Only problem is he only averages like 10 carries a year because he gets hurt the rest of the year.
Well, but we'll stick with the 5.9. Forget the rest.
But no, I do. I think J.K. Dobbins is a sneaky pick because if he can just stay healthy, he's going to be a solid football player.
Yeah, and Lamar doesn't need to air it out too much. I think J.K., if he's having a good year, he's going to open up play action for him. I think Andrews is going to be open. I think Zay Flowers in the slot is going to be sneaky. That's my new Amon-Ra this year. I like Baltimore. But Cincy at plus odds, I wouldn't
go wrong there either.
Shake a stick at that. I would take it.
Well, let's go a little south then. We'll go down to the AFC South. Who do you have there?
This one is tough. I like finding value, but I can't go away from Jacksonville here. Yep. I can't. You got Trevor Lawrence. You got one of my favorite breakout candidates is Calvin Ridley, if he can stay off FanDuel. Etienne is a good one. Good running back.
Yeah, I love Etienne. He's so good.
50. It's fun to watch. So I like Jacksonville myself. I'm not getting good value, but.
Yeah, that would be a sneaky good Super Bowl pick too. I think.
Yeah, and they showed some people some stuff last year. They showed they had some guts. So
that's what I had. I had Jacksonville also. I mean, minus 155 on Barstool at least. I wasn't thrilled with that, but and then I took the old dogs, Tennessee at plus 325. Let's see what they can do this year if they can just stay healthy.
I can't get up.
But. All right, we got one more here. We got the AFC West. I mean, both our picks are probably going to be the same, but who do you have?
AFC West.
It's a tough division, but Kansas City's dominated that. Kansas City's dominating that division so bad. I can't see. The Raiders not. I like Garoppolo in Oakland. I do like, I guess it's Las Vegas now, but I do like Garoppolo.
I like LA. I like LA a lot.
I think LA's defense hurts them. I think their defense hurts them. That's what's and I think their offense is good, but it's all dependent on Herbert, and he just hasn't went to that next level yet. I obviously I have Kansas City at minus 190, but Denver isn't just that sleeper there again at Denver at plus 650. It's gonna be tough for them to win that division, but I can see them coming close.
And we're talking regular season, right? That's why I like LA.
Yeah,
just because they dominate in the regular season. I think Herbert, he's one of these young quarterbacks that still kind of needs to prove it to people, even though
he does. He really does. Yeah. Because he's not. You would agree that he's not on Burrow's level yet, right?
No,
Herbert? He was in that same draft. Him, Burrow, and Hurts were all in that 2020 draft, I believe. And Hurts is going to that next level. Burrow's going to that. They both went to the Super Bowl already, and Herbert hasn't done nothing yet in that aspect. So
something to prove.
Yeah.
Sure. They get chips on their shoulders. These competitors, they go after it. So I like LA. I think they have enough firepower with Williams, Keenan Allen, Old Man Allen, PPR machine. I'll take him. And then you got Austin Eckler in the backfield. So
Yeah, for sure.
If they just have to outscore people. That's
exactly.
What they do.
Yep.
So.
All right, we're gonna get to probably your favorite time of the show. Thursday night kickoff, Lions versus the Chiefs. Last time, so earlier today, I checked out the spreads. KC was -6.5. Earlier this afternoon, and before I knew it was down to +5.5. I don't know if it's went down at any time since then. I haven't looked at it. Over under went down to 53.5. Who do you like there? I mean, I'm assuming it's going to be Detroit, but what are you thinking there?
So yeah, we're holding steady at 5.5. 5.5 spread right now. The over-under is 52.5. I mean, if you're giving me 5.5, Kelsey's probably in question. He might not play. Chris Jones is out. I think Detroit has enough to keep up with them. Give me the points. I'm not betting the money line. I'm not that confident on this game. We are talking about Kansas City here.
Yeah.
But give me Detroit and the points, and then give me under the total.
Really?
Give me under the total.
Why are you thinking that?
I just think they're both like these first games of the season. Mm-hmm. There's no tape on half of Detroit's team.
Yep.
So I think Detroit, the only way they win this is to keep them out of the 30s, out of the high 20s.
Yep.
And if they're going to keep it close with that 5.5, that's going to bring the total down. So,
yep.
But there was a new OC for KC. Another reason for doubt a little bit, even though Andy Reid's always been the OC. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I think as long as Goff plays a clean game, I think there's multiple ways for Detroit to stay in this one.
Yep. Yeah, I'll be honest. When it was at like 6.5, 7-ish, I was on Detroit. I think that's too many points. I'm still over. I'm on the over like crazy right now. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. The 53.5 is very, very high. I think it's the highest of the week, including the week 1 games.
Yeah.
So it is a very high total, but I do like it. Now that it's went down to 5.5, I'm starting to lean more towards KC. Now there's a lot that needs to be picked through there, though. KC might not have Travis Kelce. I'm going to assume that they're not going to have Travis Kelce because first game of the year, you have something that's wrong with your ACL or whatever it is that is bad enough that you have to get it checked out. So why risk it like going into a game like that? So even without Kelce, though, I still would take KC at like -6 or like -5 or lower. I would take KC, but as soon as it gets to that +6.5 or higher, I'm going with Detroit. I think they can stay right around that touchdown away, or even possibly have a chance to win that game. I really do. It's going to be. They're going to have to really score. I think Jared Goss has to play a great game. That's kind of going to go into my prop bets here later. Why I think they're going to have to score so much, but yeah, I do like that. And you got to remember that this is Goff's first time playing in Kansas City. I think it's the only stadium he hasn't played in yet. So it's the first time he's playing there. But Kansas City, as much as their team is pretty good, they have lost a lot of people, and that's what's scaring me between that 5.5 to 6.5. Kansas City's lost Clark on defense, and they lost Brown at left tackle. Those are two pretty solid, and they lost Juju at receiver, and I believe they lost McCole Hardman too. So they lost a lot of key people, but they haven't lost Patrick Mahomes, so that's why at -6 or lower, I will take Kansas City all day and the over at 53.5.
Yeah, one of my concerns, and just to give everyone an idea, Miami, LA over/unders at 50.5.
Yeah,
we're at 54.5.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy because Miami, and I would say that game's going to go way over if this game's going to go over.
Everyone's a little juiced up for this matchup, and trust me,
I'm
not happy about having to stay up past. Yeah, I have to stay up past my bedtime. I'll be up for that one.
Thursday showdown lineup. I'm not much of a daily fantasy player. I tend to always lose, so I try to stay away from that as much as I can. I know you like the daily fantasy lineups, so you have a lineup that you're going to be playing Thursday night.
Yes, I do, and I was trying to share my screen. It's fine. I can just tell you guys. So daily fantasy, showdowns I usually don't play a lot, only because you have a lot of copycat lineups. There's only a few options to choose from. However, I saw Kelsey might be doubtful for this one. It opens up tons of value, should differentiate everyone's lineups. But what will not differentiate, am I saying that right?
So.
I don't know. Is Patrick Mahomes at MVP 1.5 times. All I have written here is how do you not?
Yeah.
I mean, plug him in.
That's a no-brainer.
Now, I got some interesting picks behind him. On FanDuel, these prices are on FanDuel. You got McKinnon at 9,000. Especially if Kelsey's not playing, I think it opens up a little dink and dunk strategy for KC. Great, pass catching running back. Has been there forever, it feels. Then I have Sky Moore, one of my darlings for this year. I think he has a big year.
Mm-hmm.
MVS, I think he leaps over him for number one receiver eventually. And I think at 8,000, you got a pretty good value there. Then you got Jahmyr Gibbs at 11,000. I think he's way underpriced. Plug him in. Like however you want to play him, just plug him. And then you got the PPR machine, St. Brown.
You can't beat that.
8-9 catches. Gave me 80, 90 yards and a touchdown, and we're all good. Yeah. You're under salary by $500, and you could even plug and play if you want to play a few lineups. If you want to get Montgomery in there, if you want to get a kicker, I go with Butker. Our kicking situation, Detroit, it's not looking good right now, but we got Riley Patterson for whatever that's worth. Mahomes, McKinnon, Moore, Gibbs, St. Brown.
All right,
there's your showdown.
I like it. So let's dive into the last segment here. We're going to do Thursday night prop bets. I'll go ahead and give you – I got 4 prop bets that I like. I don't know which ones I'm looking at yet because I think it's going to depend on what's going on with the game and stuff. But at first I had Mahomes over 2.5 touchdowns. With now Kelsey not being there, it scares me a little bit because you're always guaranteed to get Kelsey at least one of those touchdowns.
You go under. But what's that on under? Under 2.5.
I don't think I can ever. You can't bet the unders. Never can bet the unders. Who wants to root for no points?
Weirdos.
Nobody wants to do that. But I have Mahomes over 2.5 passing touchdowns at plus 145 on Barstool. I have Goff at over 2.5 touchdowns. The reason I have that is because, like I said, I think they're going to have to pass the ball to keep up with the Kansas City. If Kansas City ends up scoring like they should score, I think the Lions are going to have to pass the ball like crazy. So I like over 2.5 at plus 325 on Goff. I think there's a great odds there. I have Gibbs. I have it at receiving yards over 30.5 at minus 115. I also saw rushing yards over like 39.5, I think, at minus 115. I don't mind that either, but like I said, it goes back to the whole that I think they're going to be playing from behind. So I think that they're going to have to pass the ball a lot more, and Goff comes off to me as a dump it off type quarterback now, where he's going to dump it off to Gibbs. He's going to pick up 10, 15 yards at a time.
He's got the small hands. Got the small hands, man.
Exactly. And,
small hands.
And then my last prop bet would be Mahomes rushing yards over 17.5. That line is not going to be the greatest this year, I don't think. So I think he's going to get pressure from Detroit's D-line, from Hutchinson and stuff. So I think he's going to have to scramble a little bit. So I really do think that he can get over 17.5 rushing yards. So those are my 4 prop bets. What do you have?
Yeah, I'm not a huge prop bet guy, but I'll throw a couple at you. I really like Kadarius Toney this year. I think he's a weapon. He just has to stay healthy. I think they're going to ease him in this first game, but the odds at 210 are pretty enticing for an anytime touchdown scorer.
Okay,
so I can plug him in at 210. And then I like Gibbs 40 yards receiving. Like I said, Ben Johnson's going to get him open at plus 146. So if you want to pair a couple of these, you make some money. Promise.
Yeah.
I don't want to promise anyone. I kind of promise. I don't know.
Yeah. So other than that, though, do you have anything else you want to touch up on?
I'm just excited for football, man. Excited to get the season going. I
think it's going to be a good year. So everybody, this is our Thursday night we're going to normally do this on like a Friday or Saturday, and we're going to have it out for Saturday night into Sunday morning. We're going to do all the games at one time. So expect our next video will be out probably Saturday afternoon to Saturday evening-ish. So we'll be going over all the Sunday games and go from there. But remember, like, subscribe, comment, follow us down below. And then you go to all of the platforms. You can see us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all that, Twitter, and follow us, and we'll go from there. And Sean, it's good to have you here on Gem at 10 Sports, and look forward to a good year.
Hey, man, I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate it, and we'll talk soon, all right?
All right, sounds good.